Marc Márquez has officially been diagnosed with a serious injury that will rule him out until the end of the 2025 season. The news sent shockwaves through the MotoGP world. However, it didn't take long for a leak from the Borgo Panigale headquarters to reveal that Ducati has officially appointed Nicolo Bulega as the living legend's temporary replacement. This surprising decision has sparked huge debate. Is Bulega capable of replacing Marquez and maintaining Ducati's dominance for the rest of the season? Let's discuss. Following the tragedy at the 2025 Mandalika Grand Prix, the MotoGP world was once again rocked by major news. In an incident involving Marc Márquez and Marco Bezzecchi of the Aprilia team, Marquez suffered serious injuries, forcing Ducati to take emergency action. And now, the surprising decision has finally been announced. Nicolo Bulega, the young star of the World Superbike Championship, will move up to replace Marc Márquez at the factory Ducati Lenovo team until the end of the 2025 season. According to reports in the Italian media, this decision was made after intense discussions between Gigi Dall'Igna, Claudio Domenicali, and the Ducati course technical team. Ducati realised that losing a rider of Marquez's calibre in the midst of the constructors' title race would be a major setback. In this critical situation, however, the choice fell on Bulega, a young rider shining with Ducati Aruba.it Racing in the World Superbike Championship. Despite this being his World Superbike Championship debut, Bulega performed exceptionally well, even finishing second in the standings. Gigi Dall'Igna explained the compelling reason behind this bold decision. Bulega is a rider whose characteristics perfectly match the DNA of the Desmosedici GP25. He rides aggressively yet calmly, understands the characteristics of the Ducati engine, and we are confident he can adapt quickly to MotoGP. Bulega himself admitted that he hadn't expected to receive a direct call from the Ducati Lenovo factory team. In an interview with the Italian press, he said that the opportunity arose so suddenly that he hadn't had time to process the news about Marc Márquez's injury. Replacing Marc Márquez is no easy task. He's a legend and one of the greatest riders of all time, but this is a golden opportunity, and I will give it my all to deliver the best possible results for Ducati, said Bulega. For the young Italian rider, this isn't just a sudden promotion, it's the biggest test of his career. Having gone from being a World Superbike champion to being trusted to replace a rider of Marquez's calibre, Bulega is well aware of the pressure and expectations that await him on the track. He is scheduled to compete in the next round, the Portimao Grand Prix in Portugal, which will be held next week. Prior to this, he underwent a private closed test at the Jerez circuit, where he achieved very positive initial results, demonstrating his rapid adaptation to the MotoGP bike. According to internal Ducati sources, Bulega was able to set competitive times in just the first few sessions, suggesting that his appointment was not just an emergency measure, but that he could be a major surprise for the rest of the season. This news sparked a mixed reaction among fans. Most Ducati fans were excited to see the young Italian star's potential on MotoGP's biggest stage. However, many were also concerned about the immense pressure of replacing Marc Márquez, the rider who recently brought Ducati Lenovo back to the top. Nevertheless, most fans expressed their full support for Bulega, hoping that his debut at Portimao would lead to a surprise outcome by the end of the 2025 season. Meanwhile, Francesco Bagnaia was facing an unprecedentedly difficult time on the other side of the Ducati garage since joining the Bologna-based factory team. After 2 dominant seasons and 2 consecutive world titles, Bagnaia's performance has plummeted this season. He seemed to have lost his magic touch on the Desmosedici. The immense pressure and expectations appeared to be taking a mental toll on him. A series of incidents marred his progress, from crashes in crucial races and small mistakes with fatal consequences to technical problems that ruined his chances of a podium finish and further damaged his standing. In an interview after the final race, Bagnaia candidly expressed his frustration. "I've tried everything, but the results are always worse than I expected. The bike feels different, the setup never feels quite right, and just when I start to gain confidence, something goes wrong." The situation was further complicated by the fact that his new teammate, Marc Márquez, performed exceptionally well in his debut season with Ducati, securing the 2025 MotoGP World Championship title before his injury. Admitting that Marquez's success had taken a psychological toll, Bagnaia said, "When your teammate wins in his debut season, it's incredible, but it's also mentally tough. It feels like everything is turning against me." He added that the pressure was even greater because the public and the media constantly compared his performance to Marquez's at every race. "I know what I've achieved before, but now everyone is only talking about Marc. That's not easy to accept, especially when you're struggling to find your best rhythm," he said candidly. Some MotoGP observers believe that Bagnaia is now facing a serious confidence crisis. The pressure to maintain his status as Ducati's lead rider, coupled with the looming shadow of Marquez, who had won over the public and the team from the outset of the season, meant Pecco was battling on two fronts, on the track and in his own mind. This situation became even more challenging when his performance remained inconsistent, while expectations from the team and fans continued to rise. During every practice session and race, the cameras were focused on him, looking for signs of a revival or further decline. As the season drew to a close, Bagnaia was determined to finish the year on a high, despite his chances of returning to the top three in the standings seeming increasingly slim. During his final interview, he revealed that he had stopped thinking about the title and was now focusing on one thing: regaining his confidence. "I just want to prove that I still belong here," he said, sounding as if he was implying that his battle was no longer against his rivals, but against his own shadow. Amidst all the drama, history was being made. For the first time in MotoGP history, two brothers had finished as world champion and runner-up in the same season: Marc Márquez and Alex Marquez. Riding for Ducati Gresini, Alex performed brilliantly at the 2025 Sepang Grand Prix, securing second place in the final standings behind his brother. A touching moment ensued when cameras captured Marc, despite his injury, congratulating Alex from the paddock. Alex said, tears in his eyes, "This is an incredible day. We grew up and trained together. Now we're making history together. It's a dream come true." Even former Ducati rider Andrea Dovizioso called this extraordinary achievement almost impossible to repeat. Two siblings becoming world champion and runner-up? "This is probably something that won't be repeated for decades," said Dovi with admiration. He believes that Marc and Alex Marquez's success demonstrates natural talent, dedication, hard work, and an extraordinary emotional bond. He added that the combination of mental strength and mutual support between the two brothers is a rare foundation for success in the modern MotoGP world. The 2025 MotoGP season is shaping up to be one of the most dramatic in history. This is Nicolo Bulega's opportunity to make his mark on the biggest stage of all. Can he live up to Ducati's trust in his absence? Let us know your thoughts below.